Happen with this new government is that they are making the right decisions. Now, the right decisions they are making is going to make things tougher. But if we are able to weather the storm, there is light at the end of the tunnel. With reference to subsidy, I wish that with reference to subsidy, we have all accepted the 2012 verdict. Because Sanusi was crying. Because they were all crying. They gave us the figures. But this same APC government and many other people were against them. Today now, some people are fighting. This subsidy is a fraud. We all know it has to go. So anyone that is saying they should not remove subsidy, you are not being realistic. Because we are at the bottom of the bottom of the bottom. So subsidy must go. The challenge is always, should it go now? What do we need to put in place before it go? All those are stuff we will discuss with time. But that it must go, it has gone. Number two, the floating of the dollar. It's a good decision. But one thing we need to understand is that there's what we call the gestation period for every policy. When a policy is made, it takes between 6 months to 2 years, all other factors being considered, before the benefit of that policy begins to come. So all these ones we think things are tough. It's not tough. We have not started. So don't even disease, you have not started, because we are just less than 2 months in the policy now. So it is when the policy goes through its gestation period. So for the fuel subsidy, for instance, it's going to go higher and higher. Then when all the fuel that people that have given licenses have come in, then it can begin to go down. But don't forget that we don't have any refinery. We have not been able to have one refinery in almost 40 years. Yet an individual did one in less than 4 years. Another one is doing one now that will be ready in another 4 years. It shows that we are not ready. So for you to be expecting that government will do something for you, you are fooling yourself. The government is not there to help you. So you have to think of how to help yourself, which is where survival strategy now comes in. So my own advice for individuals is to understand that the principles that makes for surviving and thriving in any economy has never changed. There's nothing you're going through today that people have never gone through before. They survived it. If we survive lockdown, we'll survive this one. We just need to face reality. And the reality is twofold. Increase your income or reduce your expenditure. But many times people always think of increasing income alone. Reducing your expenditure is a major aspect of surviving any economy, because the income will not necessarily increase if you don't have value that you are offering that will demand money to flow to you. So if you are earning salary will not increase. They will even most likely sack you. Because if I'm to advise an entrepreneur right now, entrepreneurs should be making the tough decisions. Tough decisions include letting go of people that you can survive without. Letting go of people so that you can be able to have a lean operation and then be able to survive as a business. So that means you that think that things are tough, that the salary is small, you most likely even lose that small salary, because entrepreneurs will have to make the tough decision. So number one is reducing your expenditure. And I want to deal with the major aspect of life. And please listen to me objectively if you want solution. Everyone needs to understand the majority of what you are spending money on, you don't need to spend money on them. You are spending money on them because somebody has programmed you to think that way. And until we go back and face reality, we're going to remain. So let's go to the major thing. Food, clothing, shelter, academics. Those are the things that take money. So let's break it down. Number one, food. You say 3 square meters. Is 3 a square or a triangle? Who told you you must eat 3 times a day? That's part of the setup. So we have all been grown up. Oh, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Where? Who told you that? Who defined it such? So even when you are not hungry, you are asking for food. You ask yourself, hey, where's my lunch? Are you hungry? Hey, but I've not eaten lunch. Must you eat lunch? So everybody must go sit down as a family and say, okay, in this family, from today, 011, 101, 001, whatever, you must reduce your food. Because you eat to live, you don't live to eat. If you eat once a day, you will not die. You're going to go through a period within 2-3 weeks, you will adjust. You'll be shocked that once a day is okay and you'll be healthy. Once you eat well, that's on the food aspect. On the issue of clothing, we don't need to talk too much. Most of the time, it's self-esteem issues. People don't even know what you are wearing. There's what we call the 20-40-60 principle. When people are in their 20s and in their 30s, most of the decisions they make is based on what people will say, how people will feel. By the time you get to your 40s and 50s, you don't care what anybody is saying. By the time you become 60, you realize that nobody was even saying anything in the first place. You are the one setting yourself up. How many times have you done hair, wore shoe, and nobody saw? That you now told them, you didn't see myself, how you do shoe. Your husband will give you money to go to salon. And you will return, and he will not even commend you because he has forgotten. There are many things the man is thinking of. It's not that you went to do hair. So most of the things we are spending money on, all the clothes you have in your wardrobe, your bungalow is in your wardrobe. All the clothes you have in your wardrobe, how many have you worn? All through lockdown, what did you do with those clothes? We are bag and shoe to match. Our destiny is not matching our bank account. We are wearing both straight. Our life is not straight.
Amen.
We are wearing 3-piece suit. We don't have three-story building. We need to cut down on all the waste and excesses. Then let's go to shelter. Now you have a wife. Many of us grew up in room and parlor.
You want to stop it?
Husband, wife, and 5 children. We grew up in one room. We grew up in room and parlor. We survived. Cutting was what our parents were using to survive. They didn't have car, they were happy. Now you have cars, you are sad. Now you are in duplex, you are frustrated. Why? Because we have built our appetites over the years based on materialism, what people will think, what people will feel, and we have set ourselves up. You'll be amazed that in Lagos today, the illiterates are the landlord, the educated ones are the tenants. All those people we call illiterate that we think they don't have brain, they are the ones buying land, building houses. You now, you go and park a 14 million naira car in an 8 million naira rented apartment. You think you are a big boy, you lack understanding. And the tenant will be calling you a guy tenant, landlord will be calling you a guy tenants. So we need to cut down on houses. Any room you don't need is not your own. Abroad, they do fostering, they rent out room. It's time for us to begin to think, okay, this one now, do I need to move to Ibadan? Do I need to move to Ogun State? Do I need to move to a cheaper place to save my destiny and save my family? Because it's not going to get better. Do I need to move from 3-bedroom to 2 or from a duplex to a flat? Do we need to cut? That is what needs to happen. Then let's go to education.
So Olumide Emmanuel has been giving us some gbas that we need in the season. And some of us are already reanalyzing our expenditure, even right on the show. You need to act on these things. You were going to go into education.
So let's go into education. Number one, who told you that you must go to school? Where did you get the idea from? Who ingrained that thinking into you? A child is not supposed to go to school until the child is 4 years old. Because we destroyed the public education, a generation of private school owners came and started coming up with products to take money from our pocket and program us into the bondage of education. So they start talking of preschool, kindergarten, all kinds of names for the first 4 years where nothing. And many people now, that's what you are spending money on. So your husband is earning 250. You are earning 80,000 or 100,000. So the total money coming to your family is 350. The school fees you are paying is 200. Where is the wisdom? Can't somebody stay at home and say, look, you know what? For the first 4 years of my child's life, I'm going to stay. I'm going to homeschool this child. My husband, you'll be working. I will stay at home. Many women that are working today, they are not supposed to be working. It has nothing to do with family. It's about my family. What's our family value? This is the formative stage of this children. Stay at home because what you are going to earn is not even anything. You are going to earn 100. So if you are earning something big, they might say, okay, maybe you, the man will be the one to